What's up, everyone? It is Friday. Weekend's right about here. What day is it today, Ellie?
It's Friday,
But July what?
July 12th.
July 12th, the day after my sister's birthday.
Aw,
Happy
you
birthday,
did not
Ellie.
mention this yesterday.
I know, I wasn't on yesterday. If not, I would have mentioned it. July 11th, she's in Toronto, in the homeland, celebrating. So, happy birthday to Amy.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, see, there you go. Well, I guess I should say belated, right? What's going on with you? What's new with you, Ellie? When's the last time you were on?
I've been on a bunch this week.
Yeah?
I've worked my way up from spot starter to third in the rotation, to use a baseball terminology.
There you go. I like it. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels good. This is one of my favorite parts of the job.
Good. Well, then I'm glad to hear it. And you know what? You always have really good knowledge. So let's get started with Atlanta United. Headed to Montreal tomorrow. Back to MLS play after losing in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. Huh?
To your people.
Yes. Yes, they're going to be in Canada, in Montreal, just looking for any kind of win, any kind of boost. At this point, I'm not sure. And I mean, obviously it matters, but I'm not sure that it does matter, Ellie, because I feel like they are rebuilding.
Oh,
they have dumped off so many players, and now it's the rebuilding phase.
I keep saying this both on and off air. The back half of the season's going to be real rough.
Yeah, it is. I mean, who's even, and I'm not trying to be insulting, but who's even on the team anymore? They've let go of Gigi, Thiago Almada.
Gigi go.
Caleb Wiley.
Yeah, Caleb Wiley is on his way out.
Who's left? You know, so, and it's unfortunate.
Jamal Piare is probably the biggest scoring option.
He's there, and he's injured right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, like you said, a rough back half of the season. But I think that right now what they're trying to do is build the roster, and they're trying to, like I said, dump as many players as possible to get money, to be able to pay and look towards the future. Very bad season for Atlanta United. I don't see how they're going to resurrect it. But let's hear from the interim head coach, who has a very tough job to do from here on out, just trying to keep people alive, I guess I should say.
Jamal probably will be. We'll have to check and see how everything felt today. But I think Edmund is still a little bit of ways away.
Okay. Was this Amador's first training session with y'all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just arrived, I believe, last night, or yesterday afternoon. So yeah, it's the first time with the group. So.
Were you able to talk to him, meet him?
Yeah. We chatted, but just everything just obviously real brief. Like he's integrating. He's going to integrate with the team, and there's time now before he can actually play. But yeah, brief conversations, and then he's meeting teammates and things like that. And he can communicate with a few of them in Portuguese, so that's great.
Okay.
Make him feel a little more welcome.
Curious if you're considering maybe going from the three center backs to maybe a two center backs, trying to get extra midfielder, see if you can maybe get something going a little bit better in the attack.
Yeah, I mean, I always, like I told you guys before, I always take each game as it comes. Like whether it's one more midfield, like we have, I would say 4 central midfielders, and then from there, we have a Nick Firmino that can kind of play a little bit of both. Like he's had to play as a false 9 in the last game, which wasn't perfect and ideal, but he's somebody that can fill multiple positions. It's just about what suits the game. I think some consistency is important too. At the moment, I think the results aren't going to dictate what we do every single time. They are important, but I don't think that's causing us the issues.
Okay.
But I also think at the end of the day, we have to look at what we have and how we can get better opportunities. I do think we are scoring goals still, regardless, which is always a good thing. Can we create more? Yeah, 100%. Can we be better in a lot of different ways? Yes. I don't know if that's going to be the solve yet, but trust me, it's something that we think about all the time. We've had debate about whether it's back four, or whether it's the way the midfield shape is, or whether it's the way the forwards are playing, or where they're playing. So we're looking at every possibility we can, always.
What are some options at left back now that Caleb's on?
I mean, we've got some versatility in a guy like Ronald. Matt Edwards has played in that position before. He's pretty versatile. Luis Abram is somebody that could play in that position. It's again, it's not only that position, it's what you highlight around it, and the strength of the rest of the team around it. So yeah, even at the end of the Open Cup game, we're just trying to push numbers forward, and with the substitutions we've made and things like that. So even Luis found himself up in a higher position than I'm sure he would have normally been. But yeah, we've got other options. Maybe not an out-and-out left back, but people that can do a job.
Understood. I wanted to ask about Tristan. What have you thought of his performance in general this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tristan he's a really talented player. I really enjoy working with Tristan. Great kid, great worker. In terms of the other, like I actually had a chat with him this morning just about a lot of different things. Like I think he was hard on himself, rightfully so, or however he wanted to handle it. But like he lost the ball and then they hit us in transition. And if you give Tristan that ball 10 times, I don't think he loses it. Maybe once, but the one time it happens, and I think he felt obviously responsible or something like that for that. I think, like I've said with a lot of these guys, I feel like we can get more out of them. He's somebody that has got an interesting skill set where I think he can play as a 6. He can play as a little bit of an 8, but he's like almost like a hybrid position. It's just about setting him up and others around him to make sure that the team is successful in those ways and that his qualities can show well or better, or however we can get him kind of ticking better.
I would ask about that in particular. It seemed when he arrived, he had a lot of freedom, almost because he was just new and maybe didn't have the instructions down as far as what I wanted from him tactically. Yeah, this year it's felt maybe almost rigid for him a little bit. Has that helped or hurt?
I don't know. I mean, I think that there's difference. He'll be playing differently than he played in the beginning part of the season,
Right.
probably because I would like there to be some more fluidity, some more freedom. Again, using that word like a little bit loosely, like it's not that he does whatever he wants, but letting him make sure he can go and express himself. Like we were talking about the New England game in specific, like he played in a midfield 3, but it didn't mean that he needed to be the one that's creating the attack all the time, but he can do it in a deeper position, whether he goes on the carry on the dribble or he looks to combine with people. So it's trying to set him up in the ways that highlight his like skill set. So it's a work in progress, and like again, the whole team. I think there are some times where you see things that we've been talking about, whether it's counter movements and players moving into space that they are creating themselves, and I think that will help him because I think that's a little bit of what he's like. You said when he came, like he was moving into space freely, he was moving like that. That's what we want out of him, things like that. So there's small glimpses where you see, and it's just about getting more of it and consistently more of it.
Montreal is the first time in the regular season you've seen them, and they're a little bit different stylistically than some of the teams you've seen lately. You did see them in preseason. Does that help that you at least have a little bit of knowledge of how they play?
Yeah, I mean, it did for sure. Like it's not that they've changed, but in preseason they were like really, really trying to implement their ideas and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like to a fault. Like they were doing everything like they could to play out from the back, play out from goal kick, and like I really credit to the coach and the rest of the players. Like they were really trying to execute and that's what preseason's for. Like make the mistakes, those things like that would happen. They look like they're more refined at it, so they're better in a lot of ways, and it'll be a tough challenge for us. They're a good team. I think the coach is a great coach. He's done a really good job with the players that he's got. You know, there's other familiar faces on the other side that we'll be looking to see, and but yeah, it'll be a tough challenge for us.
I wanted to ask you about Jay as well, how you've used his positioning at times wider on the right, something that I don't think we've seen much from him. Is there something you were looking for either in the team or in his game in that position? Yeah, it's probably an interesting one that everyone goes, "What's he doing here?" Maybe that's fine. If people will question that, right? But it was a debate, and all of a sudden I thought like he would fit perfect because I think he does a good job in the half spaces. He can find pockets of space that he can receive the ball, and he's comfortable going forward on the dribble. And I didn't think we needed more of like the debate was whether you need a winger option or you need an in the pocket type player. I felt like we needed somebody like Johnny. So he has the physical attributes that he can cover ground defensively, that he can do the pressure and all that, and then he also has the skill set to play in between lines, and he can do things differently. He can do it with a pass, he can do it with a dribble, and I'm not asking him to dribble people with pace, but he can do it where once he breaks the first line, he can go on the dribble and then make the final pass. Whereas if you're looking at a winger option, it might be more out and out 1v1 and then across in the box. That's not what I would be looking for Johnny to do. So when we had made those changes with him in those positions, was that in mind of like how can he unlock a team that way? Whether it works or not works, that's like where we have to reflect on those decisions. Do you feel like the game's kind of going in that direction a little bit more, where it's not this is a position you play and that's it? It's more about this is what you bring to the table and this is what I need out of this position.
Yeah, I think that you see a lot of times like whether coaches like tinker with different ways of playing and fullbacks inside, outside, wherever they play. I just look at guys that I had a coach tell me a long time ago, like, you're a soccer player. Because I when I played, I was playing left back, center back, right back, defensive midfielder, and I was like kind of confused, like, where can I hone in on? And he's like, wherever you get on the field. And I'm not saying that that's what we do with these guys, but it is important that if we see a skill set that they might have that we can utilize in a different position, it gets them on the field. It's one, good for them because they all want to play, and then it's good for the team if we think it can benefit. Like Johnny, like you're just bringing him up because he's played right back before. He's done things like that. So I think that that's a credit to him that he's got that versatility. Now they all want to hone in on one thing and then be the solid starter, but that versatility in guys that can be effective is really important, and making sure that it's not affecting everybody else. I think that's where it becomes like where I see a difference in when you watch teams around the world is like sometimes people are putting things in there and you're like, leave them, don't do that. But this is not a case with Johnny. I think he has the skill set to play in different positions that can help the team.
I think it was like a nice experience for me, like the first biggest tournament for me. So yeah, it was the pleasure to play there. It wasn't easy because we didn't win any games, so yeah, it was tough. And I think we played against very good teams, and for me it was like I said, the big pleasure to play against them. And so yeah, I think that's it. That big experience for me, but I hope that the nicest things is in front of me, because in 2 years it's the World Cup. So I hope I will play there.
What did the Polish manager tell you that he wanted to see you work on and improve on?
Like I didn't speak with the manager of national team, so it's difficult to say about this one.
That's fine. A lot happened while you were gone. What do you think about the team, the Atlanta United team now, and what do y'all need to improve upon going forward?
I think it's a tough moment for the team, because first of all we sold also the 3 players, so it's not easy, because it was the 3 started players, so we have to adjust to this situation, and I hope we're gonna win on Saturday, because we need this win, and very important games in front of us, and I think it's the mid of the season, so we're still on the race, and I think we give everything to play in our playoffs at the end of the season. Yeah.
Has your time here in Atlanta been what you expected?
Like at the beginning, I expected that we're gonna play for top 4, but right now I think it's impossible, because we lose too many points to this top 4. So now we have to focus on like every game to play just in playoffs. So like top 8. And like I said, it's not easy to come back, because it's tough moment. We didn't win, like I don't know, we won maybe 1 game in the last 5 games. So we have to come back on good way. And like I said, it's not easy, but it will not be easy games in this season. So we have to adjust also in this situation. And I think I was in this situation also in Poland, that we was in this tough moment. And yeah, it's not easy, but we have to come back. We have to stick together and just keep going. Yeah.
How did you do that in Poland? How did the team do that? Come back from a bad situation?
Yeah, like we had the half year very bad, and we've been in let's say relegation position, and but after this half year, we go to the camp. We like every day we train hard, and I think this is the way to train hard and try to come back, because every game is like new story. So we have to also forget about the past. It's of course it's difficult, but yeah, what we can do is only this one.
How are things different under Rob, since he's taken over as the head manager for the team?
I think Rob is a very good coach, but he's still young, and I think it's I don't know, it's first time for him to be the head coach, or no? I don't know.
Second.
Okay, second time. So I think it's for him it's also the new situation, and he's not in easy situation because he didn't take the team in the top 4. He take the team in tough moment, and but I think it's also his role to take this team. We have to believe in this gameplay, and we have to, like I said, we have to keep going and just believe in our team.
Do you play chess?
Hmm?
Do you play chess?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your elo?
No, maybe I do. I don't play so much chess, but sometimes I play the computer games for to fresh my mindset, and I think it's good for me to just don't overthinking, and sometimes I like it.
Yeah.
My wife
Sometimes
sometimes doesn't like it, but because I think I give too many emotion to this, like on the pitch, out of the pitch. It's just me that everywhere I have to give everything. Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so Atlanta United taking on Montreal on the road tomorrow night, 7:30 first kick, and any kind of win at all would give them, bring them momentum that's much needed. Moving along, go ahead. It is yours.
Have you seen this deal?
I want you to tell me about it.
All right. Jalen Brunson, just of the New York Knicks, just signed what I can only describe as like the Shohei Ohtani deal of the NBA. This man was due a lot of money next year. He turned that down by signing a 4-year, $156.5 million extension today.
Today.
$113 million less than he could have gotten next year. If the Knicks don't win a championship within the next 4 years, this is going to go down as an all-time back fumble.
Maybe he needs the money right now.
This is Jalen Brunson we're talking about. He does not need the money
I don't
right
know
now.
what possesses someone to do. I mean, is that not impatience, or what is it?
That is, they're going to save, the Knicks are going to save like $37 million in cap space by signing him to this deal now rather than him taking his shot next year. That's $37 million they can use to sign other pieces to put around him, even though they've basically recreated the Villanova basketball team already.
Well, I mean, a lot of teams would love to have a player like him, right? I mean,
A player who's willing to forego $113 million so you can put
maybe
pieces
he
around him?
loves- maybe he
Yes!
loves being a
Almost
Knicks.
every
Maybe
team
he
would
loves
want
it.
that.
Well, I was gonna say the Braves always sign their young players to these like really bad deals, and they get the like hometown discount in some kind of way.
Ozzy Albies, what were you doing?
I mean, you could say that about so many of the young guys that they signed these deals that weren't very team friendly and not player friendly. However, here we are. It is what it is. Obviously, you feel much stronger about it than me. I don't like losing money, but what is money? If you want to be a Nick and you want to be there, and I don't know, maybe it's a great organization to play for.
This just puts a huge amount of pressure on their front office and on the team in general to get it done.
Yeah.
This is him going, go get the pieces to win a championship. This can't be for nothing.
So they've been in the playoffs the last 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years, and they've gotten close-ish, but no cigar, to borrow the turn of phrase.
Well, JB, I hope it works out. I really, really do. And if it doesn't, like you said, you said 113 million.
113 million on the table.
Would you, if you knew you were going to win a championship, would you rather have a championship or 113 million?
Now, if I have to pick between
Like
a
if you
ring,
knew it, like it was absolutely guaranteed.
if it was
to you.
guaranteed, cards on the table, I pick the championship.
You would?
If I'm in Jalen Brunson's position where money is not really an object, and I'm picking between $113 million and a championship. Money is temporary. Flags fly forever. What can I say?
Oh,
Like that.
flags fly forever.
You
That should be a
pick
tattoo.
the ring. You
Okay.
pick the ring.
The rang. Okay, I respect that. I respect it. What's next? What's next?
So, Paul Skeens,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher, is really good at baseball.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a
Tad.
little bit. He should have started the 8th inning at the very least, but that's beside the point. He will be the National League starter for the MLB All-Star Game.
Okay.
He is one of 5 rookies to ever start the All-Star Game. The last one was Hideo Nomo 30 years ago, and he barely counts because he was like
30
27.
years ago. Okay.
The last one before him was Fernando Valenzuela, which, Fernando Mania is like
A thing.
something that people still talk about, 40 years after that happened.
Yeah.
So he is in some pretty good company,
Yeah.
to
And
say
how
the
old is he?
least. He is
Do we know?
22.
Okay. Is he like coming out of nowhere?
No, he was the number 1 pick last year.
Yeah.
So he is not necessarily coming out of nowhere.
You know, in
But-
baseball, it doesn't really matter where you get picked.
Yes, but I mean,
But in his case-
increasingly the number 1 picks have started to
Charlie
to hit.
Condon very well could be on Sunday.
Charlie Condon or Travis Bazzana, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously we're a little bit biased towards the Dogs,
Yes,
and that draft is happening on Sunday.
it is. 7:00.
But regardless of the expectations of a number 1 pick, this is impressive.
Do you want to give us some stats? Do you have the stats up? So that way we can. But I'm not trying to put you on the spot. If you don't
All
have
right.
them, you don't have them. But you seem to really like this kid.
I very much
We've got to
do.
be able to give these stats to support
I very
the
much
amount of
do.
liking you're making right now.
All right, here's his 2024 season stats now. Granted, he spent like this first 5 or 6 starts in AAA. Then they called him up. 6-0, 1.90 ERA, 89 strikeouts, and a 0.92 WHIP.
Nice.
That is Bob Gibson type numbers.
So do we feel like at some point teams are going to figure him out and
Maybe.
okay.
But, all right, I'm going to call it. If he works out, that's a Cy Young and a Rookie of the Year.
Oh, all right. And we're not even halfway there yet.
We're not even halfway there.
We
And
got 3 games to
if,
go before the break.
If Shohei Ohtani wasn't tearing up, I'd say he had a shot at MVP.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
well,
Shohei
let's
Ohtani
not
exists.
let's not jinx anything quite yet. We still got weeks of baseball.
Yes, months
yeah,
of
yeah.
baseball to go. But
Yeah.
this man has been tearing it up for a pretty okay Pirates team. But he's a good chunk of the reason why they're just pretty okay instead of...
Okay. SEC Media Day is coming up next week for the first time ever. It is in Dallas, Texas. So the South is going like to the Midwest, or is Texas?
Texas is its own thing.
But like, aren't they like still?
No. Texas is its own thing. They will tell you they're their own thing.
So what are they? Like mid?
They're Texas.
They're just mid, like
They're
mid,
Texas.
mid country. How about that? Mid. So the South heads to mid country, to enjoy the week of festivities there. It's in Texas this year, as you can guess, because the Longhorns and Oklahoma, the Sooners, are now in the SEC starting this year. Should be really, really fun. Conferences don't exist anymore. There's no East and West. You'll see new rivalries form.
Cal and
Texas
Stanford
A&M
are in the
and Texas
Atlantic
will
Coast
play
Conference.
again.
None of this matters
No.
other than for scheduling.
Correct. So Texas speaks on, not Texas, I apologize. Georgia speaks on Tuesday, I believe. No doubt Kirby Smart will be asked about what's going on with his team. Does he not have control of his players? All the things, since players can't seem to drive the speed limit. And beyond that, he will be asked all about the continuing landscape, the changes that are still being made, given the fact that NIL just gets bigger and bigger every single year. You got to pay players more and more. These players who are coming in as freshmen, as rookies, who've never played a down of college ball, are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
without ever stepping foot on a field.
I mean, Arch Manning just got, I think the numbers were like 65 to 70 to promote the NCAA football game.
Yeah,
The video game that's coming out.
it's wild. It's wild the amount of money, and I'm not like hating or anything. Like, make your money,
Look, man,
kids, do it.
Go get the bag.
But I do think that eventually rules will have to be put into place. There has to be a cap. At some point, all these people, the collectives, are going to be just, dry. This money doesn't stay forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it while you can, kids.
Looking at you, Oregon.
Yeah, seriously. So pretty soon, though, Ellie, I do expect at some point that will change. And for like the span of like 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years maybe, that's when these kids can like capitalize. Anyways, so SEC Media Days, we'll find out a little bit more about Texas and Oklahoma's plans, as they have now entered the conference. Should be a really exciting year of college football, given the changes, especially one of the biggest changes is that the SEC is now on ABC. And they're going to have different times and different things. And so, obviously ABC, ESPN, SEC Network, all one entity. So they'll keep it all together and spread it apart across all their networks, and we'll see the product and see what it's made of. But, certainly there's nothing bigger than, other than the actual season, than SEC Media Days. And I guess everything's bigger in Texas, so why not take it there?
Why not?
Let's do it. What's on your mind?
So, Spain, England, Euro 2024 final on Sunday. I'm going to be honest. The only reason I want Spain to win is to just see England get so close and yet so far once again. I find the
Gosh, that
suffering
sounds
of the
awful.
England fan base so funny.
Why? That's awful.
I
feel like
realize
you're
it's
not
awful,
that type of person.
but there's just a certain amount of watching the England fan base get worked up about it's coming home, and hearing 3 Lions every day, because I have several friends who are England fans, and then nope.
Are they insufferable or what?
I
Are
mean,
they like Alabama fans?
no, they're like Texas A&M fans.
Oh, okay.
All of the insufferability, none of the championships. So yeah,
All right.
I have great schadenfreude when it comes to the England football team.
Okay, I respect that. I hope that Tanisha Wright's team tonight can pull it off against the Aces. 5 losses in a row. That's the streak they're riding right now. Not a good one, not one you ever want to ride. But I do think that beating the 2-time defending champs could give you some confidence, some momentum, some much-needed confidence and momentum right about now. 7:30 tip on Ion TV tonight. But yeah, listen, they have some injuries. We haven't seen Ryan Howard play for weeks. We don't know if she's going to play in the Olympics. We've got no word on that. You hate it, right? If she doesn't get to play, you hate it for her. However, this team just needs a win. And the last time the Aces were here, the Dream beat them.
They pulled it out.
They came from
They pulled it
behind
out.
to beat them. So I have no reason to believe that they can't do it again. It's a different team. Again, injuries, but a win could really do them good right about now. So that's about it. Anything
All right,
else?
not for me.
All right. Well, I think we're good. Have a good weekend, everybody.